zero increases are great.
Right, Yahoo. Sorry, we can't put a better spin on this. All right, let's get to our third topic, which just flows so beautifully out of this. Issue number 3. Are people getting fed up, essentially? Are people disengaged, disenfranchised? You know, there have been some people, Loren, that have been fighting for the betterment of Hamilton for years, and you may not agree with all of their platforms or what their vision of the city is, but I don't think that we can deny that they are active, engaged volunteers nonstop, and usually optimistic. You know, frustrated, but optimistic. I think I put myself in that category, you too, right? We can get cynical at times, but we're still extremely engaged. Well, this week I started to hear differently, and you know, and it all came together with Margaret Trimba's op-ed today in The Spectator, where she, I don't know if we can pull up her exact words that I extrapolated out of her article, but her words really struck a note with me, and if we've got that, we'll pull it up. There we are. I've become jaded by the whole transit debacle, disillusioned with a municipal government unable to collaborate within itself effectively, never mind with an external organization. And you can make that external organization, the province, whatever. Ryan McGreal, Raise the Hammer editor, says, I don't remember ever, we can show that now that we've got that if we want to pull Ryan back up. He says, I don't ever remember a time where I've felt so discouraged about the city's leadership. I mean, this is the guy who's been the editor of Raise the Hammer blog, online publication for years. And you know, Brian, and we'll go to Joey now, another person we all know, of course. I'm with Ryan. I'm coming back as soon as I can to Hamilton. He's in Toronto now. But I'm with Ryan. Our council is harming Hamilton's progress. You know, Joey's Uber City Booster, obviously he's gone through Shovegate, and that's obviously changed how he's seen things. Ryan is fed up. He doesn't know what more he can do. And I shared with him on Twitter that when I saw the backroom nonsense around getting just a gateway sign, I almost wanted to stop doing all of this as well. Loren, has council somehow through just maybe it's recycling of its membership or just some of these situations we talk about every week, has it finally driven people to think, forget it?
All of this negativity comes out of the LRT file, and I think there is a giant piece of the equation that has been lost on everyone.
Well, not all of it. Mine is about the sign file and other things.
Sure, but certainly Ryan McGreal and
no, Joey I think is about Shovegate. I'm just saying it's not all LRT.
But in regards to LRT, there is the assumption that what the city has done is going to negate something. I think everyone has forgotten that we are asking for money. The province still could say no. And then, is that an issue of lack of municipal leadership? Is it an issue? It never was a sure thing. Not in regards to LRT.
But move it out of it. I mean, LRT may be for Ryan because he's just exhausted by all the games and all them, as he called it, the Machiavellian stuff going on.
Margaret's piece as well was certainly leaning
no, you're right.
Yeah.
Because I think that felt like a pivotal moment. You had a brand new council, a couple of bright lights on there. It was going to be an opportunity in that bus lane debate. I didn't care so much about the lane. I cared about the 6-hour orgy of indecision and nonsense that I had to listen to of council that day. And I think a lot of people thought, oh my God, this is not even better. This is possibly worse than the councils we've had in the past. I mean, there's so much frustration. And I'm not a one-trick pony. LRT, yeah, I'd like to have it. I think it's good for the city, but you know, I'm not going to die on that particular hill. I'm frustrated by the overall feeling that Hamiltonians have, that we can 1 step forward, 3 steps back. Even this discussion we just had about the mayor and the premier. I mean, does any other city do this stuff? I mean, Rob Ford did it with the premier, but I mean, Rob Ford, I hope, is an exception to the rule. Like, why do we have this political culture, Lord? Doesn't it frustrate you?
I think there's just, with every council, there is a different level of engagement. There is more social media discussion. There is more people tuned in physically at council meetings than 8 years ago, 12 years ago.
So it's the same old council, literally, but it's just that people are watching more and hoping more now, do you think?
I think, though, that we are hearing discouragement and disappointment on an agenda that wasn't elected citywide. And if you believe that Aidan Johnson is progressive and he's going to change things, you're going to need at least 7 more Aidan Johnsons or Matt Greens or whomever it is.
So I guess it goes back to the fact that you've got the same council, and some of them have been there forever.
But
and maybe now people are just had higher hopes and are seeing, no, this is the kind of stuff that they do. These are the games they play. And I mean, and I said to Ryan today, some of it is just the way they do it, Loren. It's not even the particular decision. It's the nonsense. It's the mixed messaging. It's the flipping on votes. It's the Machiavellian crap that goes on behind the scenes that you and I both know happens.
Sure.
right?
Sure, but I don't know that everyone is frustrated. It depends on what your agenda is. And if your agenda is to make sure that your property taxes stay as straight line as possible, then you're fine. If you don't care about LRT and you don't care about whatever other issues there are.
Right.
And there's a lot of councillors who are staying the course and their constituents are pleased with their work. If you are not, that doesn't mean that these councillors are wrong. It just means that your vision and their vision are not synchronized.
As long as they have a vision, which I doubt that they do.
Well,
I think it's to get reelected. Okay, let's get into our rants.
Yeah, I made a whole lot of friends with mine last week while carefully trying to pick words to ensure.